Perfect. So how are you guys all doing today? Good, good. So before I start off, I'm just going to introduce myself briefly. There we go. So just like Sham said, my name is Sakaana Yasotharan. I'm in my third year at Ryerson for Communications and Marketing. Currently, I'm the Director of Events for a photography team over at Ryerson. I work closely with the community that I'm in right now, the Driftwood community located in Jane and Finch. I'm a youth mentor, and I use my photography skills to help out during community events, speaking to our local church events as well. Overall, just a community volunteer. In terms of my future aspirations, I hope to be a lawyer, and as cliche as it sounds, I hope to save the world. So today I'm here to tell you a story, and not one of fairy tales and princes and princesses, but one of 5 ordinary students and how our lives changed through one culminating assignment. Our names, Muhammad, RJ, Abdullah, Samitha, and myself, Sahana. So just like every other senior year student at JPCI, we enrolled in the Ramen I Think program, wanting to challenge ourselves, but more importantly, boost our GPA and our averages to get into the universities that we wanted to get into. But little did we know that this person right here, not Prime Minister Trudeau, who's a bit too busy running a country to run our school program, but Mr. Isabai, also known as Easy to some of us. He had an assignment planned for us that went far beyond the pages of any textbook and far beyond the walls of any school classroom. He told us to figure out the solution as to how to increase our school population. So all 5 of us felt like Albert Einstein when we solved that problem within minutes. It seemed pretty easy. A new marketing approach. We needed to have promotional materials, attract more consumers and more families through different social media platforms. That was hardly the case. As we delved deeper into the problem, we realized that there were so many other different factors that attributed to our current situation. The first one being revitalization and gentrification. Our school was located at Lawrence Heights, one of the most neighborhoods that's known not so much for our reputation. So likewise, the area that I grew up in was Jane and Finch, which is in the Driftwood community. We're known not so much for the news that we hear in the media. In terms of how this applied to our program and to our problem, we realized that the community was filled with families that had built generations upon generations of culture and history, and were now being forced and moved out of the neighborhood that they were in because of the current situation of our city. More so, the community was filled with marginalized communities and families that were facing different issues and different problems that not too many people were able to empathize with. Now, coming from this community, you realize that the mindset of those that reside in it is very different from those who are privileged and have different circumstances. Now, for some of us, we have the luxury and the privilege to go to university, be thousands of dollars in debt, and still know that, okay, we have someone to lean back on. We're supported. But for some of us, we do the bare minimum and come out of the situation knowing that the importance lies in paying our bills and doing the 9 to 5. Some of us have kids. Some of us have families to support. So that mindset right there is $40,000 in debt, or do I pay my bills off? Now, this results in people seeing education as a luxury, and it shouldn't be. It should be accessible for tons of people and for everyone. Everyone who wants to learn should be able to learn, and there should be no lack of motivation or no lack of hope. I know for myself, when I was looking at the situation, I know that I'm a Sri Lankan Tamil young woman coming from a family of a single mother. I live in Driftwood community, and there weren't too many people that I could look up to and say, you're in a position that I want to be in, and I can look to you as motivation and encouragement. And that's just my story. There are thousands of other students out there who don't have someone to look up to like that. So this was us. We were back to square one. We thought we had the problem fixed, and we were polishing our final product and getting ready to send it off to Mr. Isabai, but he was like, nope, try again. And we were back to square one. And that led to discussions upon discussions, arguments upon arguments, and then we had another light bulb moment. Why were we fighting with each other over a school assignment? To us, it didn't make sense. I mean, we were all honor roll students. We all did like getting our A+s back when we had our assignments in, but we never really fought each other over school assignments. And then we realized that what we were dealing with wasn't just any problem, but it was our problem. This involved us. This was our story. And then all of a sudden, a simple number became faces. It became a story. It became people that we know, people that we see in our community. And that to everyone else who was looking outside from the in, our community was so much more than just the news and the stories that we hear in the media. It was a family, having a barbecue down the street on a summer night, knowing that everyone down the block could come in and that you were welcome. That's what our family and our community was. And that was our situation and the solution to our problem. It was this, Ubuntu, an ancient African word which means I am who I am because we are who we are. We realized that we couldn't find any word in English to embody the message that our school needed. This was the solution to our problem. We needed to enforce and have this present in every single classroom and to every single student that would walk through those school doors. This is what we're kind of programmed to think. I'm going to school. They are my teachers. They are people that I should respect, and they are elders, and there should be this kind of like a power dynamic between the student and the teacher, and that we should thrive off of competitiveness. At the end of the day, you and I may be friends, but we're both fighting for that top spot. We both want that one scholarship. This is what we should have. Students spend more time at school than they do at home, meaning that they are being programmed and given the skills and the tools equipped to deal with the real world at home, which is school. And teachers are no longer just authoritative figures, but they're now family. They're mentors. They're guidance counselors. They are people that should be helping students realize and navigate themselves through real-life problems. And we shouldn't be thriving off competitiveness, but we should rather be thriving off of Ubuntu and the feeling of family and knowing that I'm going to school to learn, to be loved, to be comforted and guided by people that genuinely want the best for me. This is what will motivate these kids. These kids are over at Brookview Middle School. I recently went by to shoot a basketball game that they had for charity. And these kids, I'm telling you, have the spirit that I wish I still have. And I mean, I'm gaining them back. It's as you volunteer, as you give back, you gain from the people around you. And that's when I realized that, yes, I may have done this assignment 3 years ago, and I may have learned this 3 years ago, but this is just as important as it was 3 years ago. Knowing that Ubuntu should follow you in everywhere you go, in every aspect of life, to know that you can make memorable connections and bonds. Thank you.